Okay. Um, First off, anything that works, meaning tool-wise. I alluded to it just a minute ago. Inventing your own processes and tools is part of the attraction of pipe repair. And specifically, there's no right or wrong way to do anything. The results are all that count. And if you get comfortable with a certain method or a certain tool, and other people think it's strange, but you like it and it works, all that, then who cares what they think, right? So there's about a million ways to go after this collar of excess material here. And it could be done on a French wheel even. I'm sure you know what a French wheel is, and you can get them in different curves on the edge so that it would be sticking down like so, spinning at a high rate, and you would rotate this into the surface of it. I can approximate something like that myself, but am not totally thrilled with it for reasons I won't go into. But I do like handwork, especially, and in this particular time here, for whatever reason, this particular project, I kind of got stuck on the idea of illustrating as much of it as possible from the worker's viewpoint. So that's what I'm going to do here. And this is my trusty rusty high torque, slow speed. It'll rev, but still it goes low. It's like a Dremel tool called a Fordham, and there's a million of these little sanding drum things. You put a screw in the end, and a cylinder of rubber expands from being squashed end to end. It expands its diameter and locks them into place. And they're disposable, but they're pretty durable. And this feels like it's probably around 60 grit, maybe 40. And they work pretty well for certain things. And this is one of those times. So just for fun, we're going to let her rip here. As you can see, it works fairly well and generates some dust. That'd be the main problem here, but what the hell, I'm decided to live dangerously. It's easy to control, more than you'd think. Now these cutters, the actual steel cutters, this kind of a thing, these can be difficult to control when you're trying to do the type of operation we're doing right now. They're not really designed for that. This is the wrong shape, but these kind of high-speed steel cutters, they will tend to grab and run away with you, and a good gouge is all you need to wreck a stem. So these sanding discs are safe in the controllability sense and kind of fun to use. You're kind of back in kindergarten. Has that weird, like building sandcastles or something for a kid. Okay, it's generating a lot of dust, and so I'm going to shorten this a little bit. I'll keep at it a bit more, but in a minute I'm going to have to finish this rough shaping process with the camera off so that I can turn the dust collector on. Now in this particular case, it would be nice to have a reversible motor so that if you slip, it won't go into the work but come toward you. And the other thing is it would not kick all the dust toward you. Unfortunately, you don't find reversible motor high speed, low speed, high torque models. It tends to be only the dental drill versions that have reversible motors. So anyway, you get the idea. So I'm going to shut off the camera before I choke in a cloud of dust and turn on the exhaust horn thing that it doesn't fit in the, it needs to occupy the same floor space as some of the tripods for all the lights and the camera and stuff. So I will do that, finish this task with just this tool here, and then set the camera back up and see what I've accomplished, and we'll take it from there. It's kind of fun. Alrighty. Okay, it's been, I don't know, half an hour, 25, 30 minutes, something like that. And here's the next stage of shaping that was entirely done with these little guys. They came in 3 sizes, or I've got a set rather in 3 sizes: small, medium, large. And you just kind of mix and match depending on the curves you need. And anyhow, it's starting to come together. Now I left about 1 millimeter of cushion, extra space here. The edge of this tape is about 1 millimeter past where the actual height needs to be, but I'd rather have too much than too little. You can always move it back, and you want your overall length to be correct as well. So anyway, I would pronounce this little sanding drum thing to be a viable option. I've done it before on really exotic curly Q twisty things with shields and stuff on them, and was pleased, but thought it might be a little overkill for a simple thing like this, shape-wise simple. But no, I would do this again. Now you do end up with a heck of a lot of the camera perspective is such you can't tell how much that is, but we're coming up on a cubic inch of rubber here. So you want to definitely have a situation where dust generation isn't going to be a problem if you decide to use these circular drums. But anyhow, as I said before, whatever works, works, and gives you the final result that you want. So we're going to continue this. Now my next step will be to reduce not only the thickness but get the curvature of the stem squared away so that these blocky sides disappear. And of course, this button is much too high. It's more of a reminder that the button is there. You could just about, not quite, but very nearly make the button out of the thickness that's of the blade here. But I like having the reminder of that, you know, treat it with respect, because it's so easy at the end to cut that down to whatever height you like. Where if you decide that you're going to add it at the very end after you shape the blade and you think I'll leave enough thickness that I'll just do that as one of the final steps, and you find out you didn't leave enough. And there you go. You start over or whatever. But I think it's the smart move is to start with a giant button and just keep shrinking it along with the rest of the stem. So, alrighty, I will power down the camera, get cleaned up here a little bit, and set up the next step and flip it back on. We are off to the races.